Hi, Dr. Dave here. In my previous video, linked in the video description, I analyzed and showed highlights from one of the greatest pool matches of all time that featured Efren Reyes' famous Z shot. Here it is.
You might miss this ball.
In another recent video, I attempted to recreate Efren's shot, and it took me 22 attempts to pocket the ball. And I missed the ball entirely on many of those attempts, even though I already knew the best line of aim. Watch how long it takes Efren to decide what to do before he committed to the Z shot. This is very unusual for the magician, who usually knows exactly what to do right away. This got me wondering about all of the options he was considering. In this video, I look at reasonable alternatives to Efren's Z shot. The natural rolling one-rail kick is blocked by the 7. But using backspin, you can easily bend the cue ball around the 7 like this. Did you see the backspin bend the cue ball path after rebound? That was my first attempt, and I almost made the ball. I can't say that about my first Z-shot attempt. I pocketed the ball after 5 attempts. I can't say that either about the Z-shot, although I snookered myself with no good look at the 6. However, with slower speed, it is possible to pocket the 5 and get a good look at the 6. One problem with this alternative, as with the Z-shot, is that a miss often leads to a sellout to my opponent with a good look at the 5. However, sometimes you can also leave your opponent tough. But sometimes you might also miss the ball entirely, giving your opponent ball in hand. In most of the previous shots, I was using straight bottom spin, but you can also change the angle, use a little less bottom spin, and add right spin to help improve the angle off the end rail with a rail first hit. The problem with the running spin and the rail first hit is the cue ball will tend to run too far. However, with slower speed, it is possible to get a shot at the 6. With the ball first hit, running spin helps send the cue ball more into the line of the 6 off the side cushion, making it even easier to get a good look. But even if you don't get a perfect leave on the 6, it is still possible to get the out for the win. Here's another one-rail alternative, this time using Massé bend on the way to the opposite long rail. I got lucky and got a good hit on the first attempt, and I sent the 5 close to the pocket on the second attempt. Since I suspected it might take a while to pocket the 5 with this approach, I decided to put down a piece of spare cloth to protect the cloth on the table. Driving the cue ball and tip down into the table with a Massé shot in the same position repeatedly can abuse the cloth. This shot is very touchy to slight changes in speed, spin, and cue elevation, and it is easy to miss the ball. At this point, I knew I was in for a long haul to pocket the ball, so I decided to tape down the spare piece of cloth. This saved a lot of time since I didn't need to reposition the cloth after each shot. It took me 48 attempts before I eventually pocketed the ball. I don't recommend you try this at home unless you like abuse like me. I couldn't seem to pocket the ball, but I had no trouble scratching off the point, twice. I also managed to scratch in the side, twice. One advantage of this shot is sometimes you can snooker your opponent behind the 7. Here's my 48th attempt where I finally got the shot to work. Unfortunately, I hit the rail first with a little too much speed, so I didn't end up with a good look at the 6. Regardless, I can still get the win with a carom shot. Here, I'm visualizing the required tangent line off the 6 and the direction I need to send the 6. There ain't no way I'm gonna miss this 9 after all that work. Look at the burn and tip skid marks on the spare cloth. Better here than on the table's cloth. Also look at the burn marks where the cue ball was landing after the initial hop. The marks provide a visual record of the approximate number of attempts, although some of the spots in the middle were probably hit multiple times. Another alternative is kicking off the end rail using the mechanical bridge. As with the other methods, it is easy to sell out. It is also easy to miss the 5 entirely to give your opponent ball in hand. It is very difficult to control the rebound angle, since any slight changes in speed, backspin, and sidespin, intentional or not, can have a big effect, and using the mechanical bridge makes it even tougher. There is a chance to pocket the 5 in the side, but this requires lots of luck. You can also leave your opponent bad with the right hit, but again, only with luck. I didn't try this approach many times, since I didn't think it was worth the effort. A 2-rail kick off the end rail is also possible. I am using the midpoint parallel shift system to find the natural line. Here, I'm using my cue to verify equal distance on both sides. And now I'm doing the parallel shift. See the link in the video description for more information. Unfortunately, the 9 ball is right in the way of the natural running spin path. However, you can aim wider and shorten the angle off the first rail by not using running spin and by adding backspin if necessary. But all of this is tough to judge and control. It took me 5 tries before I even got a hit on the 5. If you use too much speed or backspin, the kick goes well long. It also goes long if you use too much backspin with too little speed. Did you see how much the cue ball path bent before hitting the second cushion? If you don't use enough backspin, the kick will come up well short. If you get lucky to hit the 5 thin on the left side, you can end up with a decent safety. But good luck trying to do this on purpose. Again, this shot is really tough to control, so I didn't put in much effort into more attempts. If you are a good jumper, a jump shot might be the easiest way to guarantee a good hit. Again, since I planned to try a bunch of these, I decided to tape down a piece of spare cloth. The nearby 6 makes it tougher to jump, but it also makes it easier to aim. I just need to focus on jumping exactly over the edge of the 6 to get a good hit on the 5. I'm a decent jumper, so I managed to get a good hit on the first attempt. Although, I still sold out, leaving an easy shot at the 5 for my opponent. As with the previous approach, it is possible to bank the 5 into the side, but it's not easy. It is also very possible to miss the 5 entirely. You need to be very careful to hit the cue ball on the vertical center line. Any amount of unintentional side spin can cause a miss. Here, I hit the cue ball just a hair to the left of center. And here, I hit just a hair to the right of center. If you are accurate enough to target the left side of the 5, you can get a good safety like this. But the problem with targeting one side of the ball is you're more likely to miss to that side. That was actually a foul because nothing hit a cushion after the hit. The final alternative I will demonstrate is an intentional foul, where I try to tie up the 5 and 6. Unfortunately, it is too easy to leave a combo like this. Or like this. Even if you get the balls to snuggle, your opponent with ball in hand can easily put you in a bind again. For more information about the best way to play shots like this, see the endgame strategy link in the video description. Obviously, it is tough to get a good result with this shot. I hit this one pretty well, to where my opponent can't pocket the 5. I lined up the combo straight with ball in hand since the combo is tough, but that makes it difficult to get an easy shot on the 5. But I make it work. This was the best I did after about 20 tries. The 5 doesn't go, and there is no reasonable combo or carom shot available. But a knowledgeable opponent can play a vicious safety with ball in hand. Again, see the endgame strategy link for advice and examples of how to do this. Did Efren make the right choice with his Z shot?
You might miss this ball.
Well, he made the ball and won the match, so it was obviously the right choice for him at that moment. However, the Z shot is definitely not the best choice for most players. It is too easy to miss the ball, and even with a hit, a sellout is likely. Of all the alternative options in this video, I liked the bending kick shot the best. I was able to get a good hit on the first attempt, pocket the ball in a number of attempts, get a good hit on most attempts, and get good position on the 6 with many attempts where I pocketed the 5. That's good stuff for being in such a tough position. Give all the shots a try to see what might be the best choice for you and your game. What's best for Efren isn't always best for mere mortals like me and you.
Well, I got lucky on that. I thought I'm blessed already. You know, it's very hard to kick that. But I need luck for that kind of shot.